Good morning, traders. This is Perry Winkle with StartupTrading.com. This is day three of me filling in for Jack and the Startup.com Discord chat room and screen share. So if you would like to participate, there's a link down at the bottom of this video and additional information. Otherwise, you can just watch and see what what I'm thinking about this morning. So as we look back at yesterday's action real quick, we can see that every index ended up being bullish, right, on both time frames, both the overnight time frame and the daily time frame, which we haven't seen in quite some time. So as we look at today's, we had ADP non-farm payroll at 8:15. All this everything today. We have the beige book at 2 o'clock. That's a blue star event as well, meaning that it's usually nothing to write home about, nothing more than a blip on the screen. But it does have the ability to be explosive. I think it's going to be more of a blue star blip today than it will be explosive. But just let you know it's out there. We are bullish on all the smaller time frames for all the indexes right now. And as we look down to the year to date, right? So let me start here. So, everyone's positive for 5 days, 10 days, 15 days, 20 days. And again, you see the outperformance by the NASDAQ. 60 days. I mean, look at this total dominance. So, when we look at the year to date, right, the Dow is right at the flat line. The Russell is still a little bit under. It's the last one that needs to go positive, and odds favor that happening this year as well, which means the rest of the indexes will look up. So as you look at year to date, right, the S&P is up 9% so far. The Nasdaq is up almost 41%. The Dow is basically up a third of a point, and the Russell is down 5.4% for the year. On all the other time frames, everything is positive. This is the last negative, for the year right now. So keep that in mind. So looking at yesterday's action again, between these two vertical gray lines here. So at the end of the day, we had our normal, salmon run, close, pie in the sky, whatever you want to call it. We've got trades that went off above the bell high of the day after the close before futures closed, and that's this blue box. So when this happens, it's up to the bulls to keep it going, right? Or they're going to face the wrath that's going to be a lid for the following session. Well, they did their job overnight so far. They ramped it up, right? And we'll see if they can keep this going, right? So squeeze in the afternoon. And I'm sure that there are a lot of traders that thought that, as soon as this next session opened, we'd just get in and short it and we'd have a party down. Well, so far they're getting nothing. So as we come back up here, we can see that we're right at R2. If we look at all the indexes, they all had that pattern where they printed above the bell high of the day before their futures closed for the session. And if we look at the NASDAQ and the ES, they both closed. Their settlement was above the bell high of the day. The Russell was right on it, and the Dow was just slightly under the bell high of the day. So as we look at really what I'm watching for, I still think more than likely the high of the day is probably going to be up somewhere around 62.50, so maybe 6 points above the current high of the day, 6.25 points at the most. And then if we do breach that, that area that's 6 or 7 points above the high of the day, then we really start getting up to where we have room to run almost all the way to 92.50. But I would start looking at 70, 75, 80. Just remember on the fives and watch that. So going backwards, I think as long as the top of this box holds, which is at 35.30, we're looking pretty good. You start getting under here, basically much below. If we even touch value area high today, I think we'll end up churning and burning down towards at least the point of control, which is 35.09, which will probably lead us to value area low. So watch that on the pop and flop scenario. If we look at, the indexes on the larger contract time frames, we can see the Russell, after responding off of this 1551.10, coming back up here, is now heading back towards the 1582.30. And, as much of an acceleration as that's been into it, I would expect a slight stall just under that level. Getting over that level is going to be much more impressive. And, getting something, you can see that it barely was able to breach above it at any time going back to August 17th. So the last time, it really rejected from this whole this long zone from a long time ago, and we could put this box up here between each of these two lines. These are consolidation zones where there is still a lot of memory left for the market to absorb. So as we look at the Dow next, if I can type. All right. So as we look at the Dow next, we're right up into that zone. We got back, we were up there on the 28th last Friday. We've fallen back down. We tested in between these nodes, right? So we didn't put a level here, but you can see the separation in the nodes right at this low volume area, right around 28,310. We dipped into it a little bit and then responded back up into this node. Now we're just above the top of this node, right? So that's 28,595, and then we're going to see if we can get above 28,678 would be the next level up. Looking at the NASDAQ, and it's just the market that can't stop. We'll have to rely on some other technical analysis like just the floor trader support and resistance zones to see if we can find something on there. We'll look at it when we go back to the other charts. And for the ES, we'll see if we find anything. There's really nothing notable below as well. And we can see this box. I'll go ahead and extend this out now. That we, were able to finally churn and burn through it yesterday. And again, that's going to be if we really get a substantial pullback. I don't think that we'll, more than likely, unless non-farm payroll is just a total disaster Friday, I don't think that we'll be able to get back below 35.13. I would look for that to be a floor area. And the same with 35.06. So we'll see as far as with any conviction. Now we got that 95, so you can see those levels that we were talking about earlier, right? If things really fall to bed, those are the areas of the chart we're going to. So as we again look at these, remember overnight inventory is a little bit net long, so look for a little bit of choppy back and forth, probably between R1 and the high of the day. For the first hour, maybe even to the European close, and then we'll decide where they want to mark this for the day, right? Do they want to test lower? And I'll be narrating my thoughts as things happen in the market. But again, there's no major news scheduled today. We've popped up here. We're still waiting on non-farm payroll at 8:30 Friday morning, and there's really no bigger news than that this week that's coming up, except for traders, just positioning and chasing money around. So there might be some short setup, but I'm really not going to be looking to play the short side unless we get convincingly below, right? We start getting below these blue boxes. You get below 3 of these 4 blue boxes, and then I think you're okay to try to short against the top of those boxes for a try just to get back into yesterday's range and towards value area low. I wouldn't be looking for much more than value area low. Unless 3 of the 4 break value area low, expect some responsive choppy bleeding, and my guess is that we really don't take out yesterday's bell high for many of these indexes. Hope this helps. I'll be in the Discord room giving thoughts live this morning and then again this afternoon. So basically I'll be on from now until a quarter till 12, and then back on around 1:45 until the 4:15 close. I hope this helps. I hope you guys have a great day, and I will give you some thoughts tomorrow.